So, Millie, we've talked about that heavy emotional weight that can just sit there.
Yep, the unspoken stuff.
Yeah. And then last time, we got into how the mind tries to solve it by just thinking itself into knots, the overthinking spiral.
Right, that exhausting loop.
Exactly. And I guess what I've been sitting with is what happens when that fails? You know, when the emotions are too heavy and thinking about them is just making it worse. Where does the mind go when it's not looking for answers anymore, but just relief?
That's such a perfect question. It goes looking for an exit ramp, not a solution, just a way out of the feeling for a little while. It goes looking for an escape.
An escape, which sounds dramatic, like a prison break.
It can feel that way, can't it? But usually it looks a lot more ordinary. It looks like opening your phone without thinking. It looks like turning on the TV and suddenly it's 3 episodes later.
Okay, yes, or for me, my brain goes, deep, unresolved emotion? Cool, let's open Instagram and see what someone I haven't spoken to in 10 years had for breakfast.
Exactly. Or I should really reorganize my inbox right now, at midnight.
The sudden urge to be productive on the most meaningless task imaginable. I know it well.
And we call it procrastination or laziness. We have all this moral language for it. But what if it's just a strategy? A very human, very understandable attempt to find a moment of peace when our internal world is just loud.
You call it a strategy, I call it watching 8 hours of a show about competitive pottery. It is loud. It feels like a crowded room where everyone is talking about something I've done wrong. It's a feeling of being fundamentally behind, and the only way to cope is to just put on headphones and blast music to drown it all out. The phone is the headphones.
But see, that's a perfect example. It's soothing. It has low stakes. Nothing bad is going to happen in the pottery show. The nervous system gets a break. It's a pattern interrupt.
Okay, but hang on. Isn't some of that just healthy? Isn't that just how people relax now? You have a long day, you watch a show. What's wrong with wanting a break from your own head?
Oh, absolutely nothing is wrong with it, of course. Rest and recreation are vital. I think the only difference, the thing we're exploring here, is the feeling behind it. Is it a conscious choice to relax and recharge? Or is it a compulsive flight from a feeling you don't want to feel?
But how can you even tell in the moment? It all just feels like wanting to stop feeling bad. The impulse to watch a movie and the impulse to scroll Instagram feel like they come from the same place. It's a blur.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think the clue isn't in the impulse, but in the aftertaste. Think about how you feel after true rest, after you watch a movie you were genuinely excited about, or read a book you love. There's a sense of fullness, of nourishment. You feel restored. You know the difference. There's the feeling of, I can't wait to curl up and watch my favorite show. And then there's the feeling of, I will watch literally anything as long as it stops me from thinking for the next 3 hours.
Okay, the second one feels uncomfortably specific.
It's universal. That's the emotional escape. It's not about the activity itself, scrolling, watching, snacking, organizing. It's about the intention, or the lack thereof. It's about avoiding stillness because you know what's waiting for you there.
So it's not the scrolling, it's the why I'm scrolling.
Precisely, and the brain is really, really good at finding the easiest path to feeling better, even if it's just for a second. That's where you get these little dopamine loops.
Ah, dopamine, the internet's favorite chemical. I feel like we're supposed to be detoxing from it or something.
I really dislike that framing. It's not a poison you need to purge, it's just a learning chemical. It tells your brain, hey, that felt good, let's do it again.
Right.
So when you feel that heavy emotion or your mind is spiraling, your brain is basically in a state of discomfort. It wants out. And it knows that a quick scroll, a notification, a new video, that provides a tiny, reliable hit of novelty, a little reward, a little relief. And so it learns, discomfort? Go here.
So my brain is basically a toddler demanding a cookie because it doesn't want to talk about its feelings.
Honestly, yes, that is a perfect analogy. It's a self-soothing mechanism, and it's not a character flaw. It's a biological process trying to keep you regulated.
It's a very persistent toddler, though, and it's hard not to get annoyed with it when it keeps derailing my actual plans. But it does feel like a flaw, you know? It feels weak. And also, isn't this just modern life? We're swimming in this stuff. The phone is always there, the next episode autoplays. Is it even possible to avoid this loop? Should we even be trying?
I don't think avoiding is the goal, because that just creates another fight, another thing to fail at. And this whole conversation is about finding relief, not creating new stress.
Okay, so what is the goal then?
Just to notice, to name it. That's it. It's about cultivating a little bit of curiosity instead of judgment.
How does that look?
It's the difference between the inner critic saying, "Ugh, I can't believe I just wasted an hour on my phone, I'm so lazy," versus a more gentle inner voice saying, I just reached for my phone without thinking. I must be trying to get away from something. What am I feeling right now?
Ah, so you're not trying to stop yourself, you're just narrating the behavior with a bit more compassion.
Exactly. You're shifting it from a moment of shame to a moment of data collection. It's just information. The pull toward distraction is a signal that something deeper is asking for attention. You don't have to give it that attention right away, but just acknowledging the signal is huge.
The awareness itself is the point, not creating a new rule book for myself where I'm only allowed 20 minutes of emotional escape scrolling per day.
Yes, because that would just be another loop, another way to judge yourself. We're just mapping the system, looking at the patterns with kindness. The core idea is, you're not lazy, you're just trying to feel better. And this is the tool your brain has reached for.
I'm not lazy, I'm trying to feel better. That actually lands.
And we should be clear, these escapes, they work, temporarily. They do provide a real sense of relief in the moment. That's why we do them. They're effective short-term strategies.
Right, it's not a broken strategy, it just has a short shelf life.
And what's so interesting, and maybe where we can go next time, is to look at what we're escaping into. So often, it's a world where we see curated versions of other people's lives.
Ah, so escaping our own discomfort by looking at someone else's perfect kitchen.
Exactly. And that opens up this whole other layer of comparison and this quiet nagging question of, am I enough? Am I doing it right? It gets into our sense of self, our identity.
Right, the identity piece. So we move from our own feelings to overthinking, to escaping, and land right in the middle of comparing ourselves to others.
It seems to be a common path.
And that feels like a heavy enough place to pause for today. It's a lot to think about.
It is. But we'll unpack it more next time. Thanks for being here, and as always, it has been a pleasure.